Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're diving into something that, let's be honest, can sound kind of dry, construction contracts. But I want you to completely forget about them as just boring legal documents. A construction contract is really the master plan, the single most important blueprint that turns a simple idea into a massive physical reality. Ready? Let's get into it.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. How on earth do you coordinate thousands of people, tons and tons of materials, and millions of dollars to build a skyscraper without the whole thing just descending into absolute chaos? Just one little mistake, one single miscommunication, and you're looking at huge delays that can cost a fortune.
Well, the answer is the construction contract. It's the ultimate tool for bringing order to all of that complexity. It's this powerful set of documents that clearly defines who is responsible for what and exactly how the entire project is going to get built, from the first shovel in the ground to the last coat of paint.
So you can think of every contract as being made of two halves that have to work together perfectly. On one side, you have the drawings. This is the visual stuff. It's the what and the where of the project. And on the other side, you've got the project manual. This is all the written stuff. It defines the how and the who, and it lays out all the rules and quality standards for everything.
Okay, so let's tackle the visual side first. The drawings are the absolute core communication tool for the entire project team. I mean, from the architect to the engineer to the electrician, everyone is literally looking at the same page, trying to build the same thing. Now, to keep things from getting totally confusing, all these drawings are organized really logically by discipline, kind of like chapters in a book. It starts big with the civil drawings for the entire site. Then it moves to architectural for the building's layout and look, then structural for the skeleton, and finally, mechanical and electrical for all the systems that make a building actually work. And inside those chapters, you're going to find four main ways of looking at things. Plan drawings give you that bird's eye view, looking down on a floor. Elevations show you what the building looks like from the outside, standing on the street. Sections are really cool. It's like taking a giant knife and slicing right through the building to see how all the pieces fit together. And then you have details, which zoom way in on the most critical, complex connections. And here's an absolutely crucial rule of thumb. If there is ever a conflict between what a big general plan shows and what a specific detailed drawing shows, the detailed drawing wins. Every single time. Why? Because it's the most specific construction, and it's there to solve the trickiest problems and prevent some really, really expensive mistakes. All right, now for the other half of our blueprint, the project manual. If the drawings are the visual guide, you can think of the manual as the project's official rulebook. It's got all the written instructions that govern every single thing that happens on site. And this manual can be a real beast, but it's basically organized into three main areas. You've got the bidding documents that get the whole project kicked off, the contract conditions that set the rules of engagement for everyone involved, and the technical specifications that define what quality actually means.
You know, a really key part of this manual is something called the general conditions. And no, this isn't just a bunch of dense legal jargon. It's the project's real-world operational playbook. It answers all those big what-if questions, like who does what, how do we handle delays or changes, who pays for what, and what happens if there's a dispute. It's the framework that keeps everybody working together smoothly.
So we've got the rules for how to work together. But what about the actual work itself? That's where the technical specifications come in. These are incredibly important because they define the required quality for every single material and the standard of workmanship for every single task.
Now, to manage the literally thousands of materials and tasks in a modern building, the industry came up with a brilliantly simple system, and it all revolves around this number, 6.
This is where the power of organization is just amazing. There's a system called the CSI master format, and it uses a 6-digit code to classify everything you can think of, from the concrete in the foundation to the handles on the doors. This code acts as a universal language. It makes sure that when an architect specifies a very particular type of window, the contractor orders and installs that exact same window. No confusion, no mix-ups. It's brilliant.
So we have the drawings that show what to build and the manual that explains how to build it. But there's still a huge question hanging in the air. How do we actually decide on the price? Well, that brings us to the different ways a contract can be structured financially.
There are 4 main types, and the biggest difference between them really comes down to who carries the financial risk if things go wrong. In a lump sum contract, the price is fixed, so the contractor carries the risk of any cost overruns. With a cost-plus contract, the owner pays for all the costs plus a fee, so all the risk is on the owner.
A GMP, or guaranteed maximum price, is kind of a hybrid where that risk is shared. And finally, you have unit price contracts, which are often used in big roadwork projects where you don't know the exact quantities ahead of time, so the owner's final cost is a little uncertain. But in the end, it all comes back to this one fundamental idea. The success of any construction project, whether it's a skyscraper or a garden shed, depends on everyone involved fully understanding and, more importantly, following the rules laid out in these documents. The contract isn't something you just sign and file away. It's a living, breathing guide for the entire build.
So remember, a contract isn't just paper. It's way more than a set of rules. It is the definitive blueprint for creating something real, something lasting. The only question left is, what will you build with it?